He doesn't go out there to try and win an MVP. Like, he's one of those guys that could average a triple-double. He doesn't go out there and try and do that. But he is motivated because he wants that respect. Coming off a year that they had last year and them struggling, and a lot of people questioning whether or not his durability or could he lead a team in the Western Conference. So he's taking a lot of pride, and he believes he deserves the MVP.
LeBron James was in his prime in the second championship in Miami. That's when he was a two-way player, one of the all-time great defensive players, by the way, also, and offensive players, played all the time, won the championship, the whole thing. After that, he realized the NBA season is not 82 games. It's 10 games if you win the whole thing potentially. So it's so absurd. The regular season MVP in basketball is absurd. Greater than 50% of the teams make the playoffs. You're more likely to make it than not to make it. Since there's never been an MVP, even candidate, from a non-playoff team, what sense does it make to give this award out before the playoffs? So what he realizes is in order to be the real MVP, he needs to pace himself in the low-leverage games in order that he has gas in the tank for the high-leverage game.
Especially an older player. That's the one disadvantage, like an older player that has a lot of miles that's looking for longevity over the course of the season versus like a guy like Giannis that can just go out and play 40 minutes every night, even though he's not.
Max and I grew up in the same neighborhood. We have the same birthday, and that's why he's so smart. You're exactly right. It is ludicrous. Look, yeah, you are much younger than me. We have the same birthday, not the same birth date.
Yes.
But there is no question. It is ridiculous to give the MVP award out. I've been making this argument for a long time. Candidly, I get yelled at for saying it a lot. But you're saying it, and I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling with you. I think you're 1,000% right.
Yeah, look, the interesting thing about LeBron is he was always the MVP, whether he got it or not. Yeah. And then a couple of times other guys actually deserved it. KD, Steph, they were better in the regular season, but by the end of the year, it was obvious LeBron was the best.
Well, so let's talk about the MVP race, though, while we're saying that maybe it doesn't matter that much. But here's the thing. Giannis right now does have a lead in it, yes. But can LeBron catch him or surpass him over this next stretch that they have?
Again, these next 5 or 6 games for the Lakers are key. And for Anthony Davis also, if he goes out there and dominates players defensively, because you got the Clippers and you got Milwaukee, that can boost you up in the defensive player of the year. And for Bron, if he goes out there and gives us 35 and 15 and puts up these crazy numbers against these great teams that he's about to play, it can kind of level the playing field.
Do you agree with the idea that the NBA's most valuable player should be an award that takes the playoffs into account?
No, because I don't. Because I do believe you have the finals MVP, and then I think for the regular season MVP, it's over the long course. It's over 82 games. Who was the most valuable player over this regular season? And it's tough because we go, who's the most dominant? Who's the best two-way? We have all of these awards that we want to kind of give out, but at the end of the day, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, it's over it. And we've just accepted the fact that, yes, you might win MVP because you've had an amazing season like Steph, but it doesn't mean that you're the best player in the world.
Tell him he's wrong.
You're wrong. Because it should be a collective award. It should be of the entire season, which includes the postseason. And whomever is the MVP in the regular season is most likely in the postseason and then could be the MVP of that as well. It's a collective award.
Well, this is my thing. It's like you look at a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who had a solid season last year, but he was resting quite a bit, wins a championship. Now, all of a sudden, because of all of the things that happened, does that boost him up? If you were to do it after the season was over, you would be like, wait, Kawhi Leonard was the MVP this year. Look at what he accomplished with Toronto.
Fair.
And I would say no.
Let me make a separate but similar argument.
Okay.
If this is the way the MVP is going to be viewed, we should stop taking it into account at the end of a player's career when we consider their all-time greatness, which is to say when we're comparing Michael and LeBron and Kareem and all these guys, we look at the regular season MVPs. If we have discounted the regular season to that degree, then I think that the significance of that award is diminished as well.
And I'm not discounting. That's the thing. I'm not discounting. I'm actually giving, like, hey, over the 82, you were the best, most important player, and you had the best season of all of the great players. So I'm actually giving, I'm giving the regular season more attention.
Why can't there be two? Like, why couldn't there be an overall MVP award that counts in the postseason, and then just whomever was like the best in the postseason? And maybe it's the same person.
Well,
sometimes.
They give it to the finals MVP.
Well, yeah,
there is a finals MVP, but
you see the problem. You see the problem. Look, the finals MVP is the one that they all want. The regular season MVP is something that is earned over a 6-month span.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.